Hi, welcome to another travel video from Gary Rose Travels. Please click like and subscribe for more videos, and also visit GaryRoseTravels.com for all the best budget backpacker information. This video is one of 4 and I'm going to be talking all about which route to take through India, also how to arrive in India, what to expect, what are the main airports of arrival. Also, I'll be talking about visas, I'll be talking about money, I'll be talking about accommodation, transport, and also I'll be giving some good examples of different routes to take, how to get there on a budget, and what to take. So this is my first video in this series. So first of all, arrival into India. Most tourists fly into India and they arrive in either New Delhi, Calcutta, Chennai or Mumbai. Even if this is not where you're starting, there's many domestic flights that connect throughout the country, and they're often quite cheap and very frequent. So even if you're not starting on one of these, you can fly in and then connect on to wherever it is you're going. Also, if you're not in the country for a long period of time, this can save you a few days travel, especially if you first arrived and you're not sure how it all works. Getting a connecting flight is often really helpful. You can also get into India by using the land border at Nepal called the Sanuli Birwara. It's the Birwara Sanuli border basically, but chances are if this is your first time in India, then you probably haven't already been to Nepal. However, if that is how you're getting in, make sure you have US dollars to pay for your Indian visa on the other side, and also make sure that you have pictures ready, and also they can't guarantee how long you're going to be granted a visa for. It's at the discretion of the border police staff. Now they may say, and the advice in the lonely might be, you know, they'll give 2 months, they'll give 6 months, but ultimately it is up to them on the day, which is just how it is. It's the same for Nepal. You can apply for 2 or 3 months, but maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't. So don't book any more travel basically in India till you've got that visa booked. Also, visas are not always easy to extend in India, even if you've already had you've been to India many times, maybe you've had 6 months and year visas. They're not always easy to extend. In fact, they're really quite difficult. So don't just presume that you'll be able to do it. It doesn't matter who you are and where you've been. It doesn't matter how many times you've been or what money you've got to spend. They're really tight with extending visas. So don't ever plan on staying longer than what you have already. So how do we get our visas? We apply in person. We go to an office in London called VFS Global. VFS Global are in partnership with many governments throughout the world. They're in partnership with our government, and basically they provide a visa office service. I start the application online. It usually takes about 1 week to fill in each application. Not that it's long, it's just like a bit laborious. So I started nice and early. I start like a week early. I start filling in a few pages, all the usual information: place of birth, occupation, mother's, father's details, marital status, all these things. Also they ask you, where have you been before? Have you been to India? Do you have Indian relations? They also want to know like Pakistani relations, obviously because there's a little bit of conflict there. So yeah, just be honest and fill it all in. Once you've filled it in, you have to get some passport photographs. Well, not actually, they're not passport photographs. This is the thing, they're not passport. They are very specific, the VFS Global and the Indian government, as to the size of the photographs. They're not passport size, they're slightly larger, and they have to be on a white background, and you have to provide 2 pictures along with your application. Now you can have these done at the VFS Global office, however it's often quite expensive to have it done there. What we do is we visit a photo shop. There's one at a tube station that we use quite frequently. Incidentally, it's run by Indians, and they know exactly what it is we want, so we just go in and we tell them, and they do it for us there. And then I finish off the application. I make an appointment at the VFS Global office. I go in, hand over my money, hand over my passport and the pictures, and they take contact details, and then they contact me when it's ready. Basically, it takes like maybe up to 5 days at the most to do it. So far, fingers crossed, we've never had any problems getting our visas. Some people say, well, don't book any flights so you've got your visa granted, which I can understand that, but for us personally, we've never had a problem. We've always just booked our flights and gone. You can also get, I should also say, for a year visa it cost about £100, so it was quite expensive, but for a year that's not very much money per day for a year visa, so it's quite good value for money. If you're not going for that long period of time, perhaps you're going for a month or 3 weeks or something, you can also get a thing called an e-visa, which we've used to visit other countries. You fill out your details online, you pay the fee, you can upload some photos, and then you just print off the paperwork, and when you arrive at the country of origin for the visa, you just hand over the paperwork and they stamp your visa, and it lasts for a month. I think you can also get them for 2 months, but I'm not sure, to be honest, so you need to double check that. You can check on UK Gov, and they have all the best advice really on the government website. But yeah, an e-visa, I'm not sure on the cost either, because it can change depending on what visa you want. So yeah, you can get an e-visa, or you can be granted a tourist visa. There's also a thing called a multiple entry visa, which is what our year-long visa was. Basically, if you're in the country for a long period of time, you have to leave after 180 days. This is because you're not allowed to work in the country, you're not allowed to buy a house in the country, you can only be there for tourist purposes basically, so you have to leave after these days. This wasn't a problem for us because we flew to Sri Lanka, which is why we needed our e-visa. We flew to Sri Lanka, and also later on in the trip we went to Nepal for 2 months and then back into India. So as you can see, it's a multiple entry, you can keep going and coming. One piece of advice I would say is when you leave the country, make sure they don't stamp your visa with an exit stamp. Just tell them that you're coming back in, because if not, you might have to apply for another visa, which would be really bad and quite costly. So yeah, that's basically what a multiple entry visa is. Yeah, so that's visas covered. What's next? So money in India. If you've watched my How to Save Money When You Travel on Your Budget video, you'll know some of this information already. But we are quite old school backpackers when it comes to money. We like to use cash, no matter where we go in the world. We like to take cash, we like to carry cash, we like cash. Basically, we like cash. Now, I understand that some people don't. Some people feel safer travelling with a card, which is absolutely fine. There's pros and cons for cash and card, obviously. Safety is probably an issue with money. You might think I don't feel comfortable walking around with all my money on me. Obviously I have an advantage because I always travel with Gary, but we divide the money up into 2 piles. I take half and he takes half, and we put it in money belts, and we wear it like a belt underneath our clothes basically, so it's very discreet, and it's also quite safe. That money belt goes with us everywhere. We only take it off when we sleep, and we put it under our pillow or under the mattress or somewhere really safe. Yeah, we just keep it on us all the time basically. We like money because in a country like India, and also the places we go in India, there's not always a lot of infrastructure. Obviously if you've got money to exchange, then you know, you haven't got to look for a bank machine, you haven't got to hope there's internet, you haven't got to hope there's electricity. But that's really to do with the actual destinations that we travel to in India, not facilities in India as a whole, because most places and most tourist hubs have banks and cash machines and things like this, that you can always withdraw money from, which is great. 2 of my routes that I've included, one I've done card use only, to make it a little bit more accessible for people. I understand that most people these days, they do everything with their cards, so I've tried to make it as user friendly as possible for people with card. If you are going to take card, One thing I would say is always check out the Lonely Planet's recommendations for cash machines. Don't ever just put your card into a machine and hope for the best. The Lonely Planet lists Western card friendly machines. Also, you should know that there is a daily limit on money you're allowed to withdraw in India. This caught us out a few times. Basically, maybe you can withdraw like 5,000 or 6,000 a day, which is like 50, 60, 70 pounds a day. So if you are heading off somewhere without facilities to withdraw cash, make sure you've withdrawn enough, but obviously make sure you haven't exceeded your limit, because it will automatically cancel your card, which is how we found out. To get around this, what I would do is go into a bank with a cash machine attached or one inside it. Go and ask the staff who work there what is the limit, so at least you know before you attempt to withdraw, say £100 or £90 or however much it is you want. Just make sure you know the limit, and then at least you can space yourself throughout the days. You can also, obviously, don't use cash machines which look broken or dodgy. Always try and use ones where you can see other backpackers using them. Also, different machines give different rates. Some give really bad rates because they're in, like, for example, one in Mumbai that we used, because it was in quite a popular area of Mumbai. It was a heavy tourist area. The rate was really bad that they gave, because we believe it was because the rent on the actual building where the cash machine was would have been higher, therefore they need to make more money to have the machine there. Whereas if you withdraw money from a less developed area, maybe part of Calcutta, they're still Western friendly, is probably not going to be as much. It's like withdrawing it from Oxford Street, basically. Chances are that they're going to charge you for that. Whereas if you withdraw it from your hometown, chances are they aren't, but yeah, that's how it hit us. We found that the ICICI Bank often gave quite good rates and quite reliable. We didn't really have many problems with this bank, so if you want a decent bank to use in India, I would suggest ICICI. It's orange. It's quite good. So yeah, that's about it for money. What else have I got? Also, we find in India that if you're going to exchange money, always do it in a bureau de change. Again, the Lonely Planet has recommended money changing shops that you can go to. Never go to any tourist desk or any dodgy looking office or any guy in the street who tries to sell you money exchange, because these are not certified. You can also change money in the banks, which is really good, but make sure that your currency that you're exchanging is in really good condition, because they won't accept it if it's folded or damaged. Obviously in England we know what to look for. We don't often pay a lot of attention to it, we just use it anyway, but in India and other parts of the world as well we've been to, make sure that your currency is in really good condition. To check your money is genuine in India, this is another reason why you need to change in the bureau de change or the banks. To check your money is genuine, you need to hold it up to the light, and in you'll see Gandhi's head appear in the note, and also you'll see the amounts the money is worth, like 500 or 2,000 written inside the note. There'll also be metallic strips on genuine notes, and after you've changed your money, no matter how long it takes you or how much you've done, always check each note to make sure it's not counterfeit. Even if you do it from the bank, you should still check it, because you could, at that point and that point only, you can say no, change this, I'm not happy with this. But any point after that, good luck getting your money back, you're not going to be able to do it. Also keep the receipt that they give you, because at the end of your trip, if you want to get that money back into your own currency, or perhaps you want to go to Nepal or Bangladesh and you want to change your rupees for their rupees, you have to prove that you've changed money. That's another good reason about changing in a bureau de change, because they always give you a receipt as opposed to just withdrawing from a cash machine. So that is my advice on money. In my next video, I will be talking about transport and accommodation, what options are available, and also how to save money. So please watch my next video on backpacking in India route. Thank you and bye-bye.